I told the car delivery people I wanted something I could haul some gear in, and this is what they sent. I think this is an older model. I don't think it's a 2024. I see the driver got impatient waiting for me to come out. Not long ago, Lexus gave us an RCF V8 Sport Coupe to drive, a fantastic vehicle. Great performance, really loved it. Then later on we got this nice fancy LC 500 with the basically same V8. 109,000 bucks for this beauty. These were both nice sports cars with back seats that are pretty much useless for anything but pets and a trunk the size of a bread box. Got to thinking, why can't they put this nice V8 in a Lexus sedan? Give us something more practical, like room for 4 people and a real trunk. That's what they've done here with the IS, replacing the 4-cylinder and 6-cylinder engine and putting it in the IS 500 with the same potent V8. So I ordered one, and here's the price sticker on my computer screen. A little bit more blurry than a piece of paper in person, but let's take a look. Yep, 5-liter V8, 472 horsepower, that's what we're looking for. Not exactly a guess at where is it. We'll be taking this out in the real world to see what the real numbers are. And here's the fee with a few options. Forged wheels, premium paint. Come on, charges for a trunk mat at this price range. Come on, guys, that should be free. And there's the total tab. But it is made totally in Japan by Japanese workers using Japanese parts at a Japanese factory. I think that's worth a few bucks. Keeps the quality high. Alright, so here's our beauty with the bright red metallic paint we had to pay extra for. It looks pretty nice. I have to do this in the shade because it's kind of hot at the moment and we have a lot of wind, so I need to get over by this wall here. I'll get drowned out. And we have that Lexus grill that everybody loves. Almost everybody. I like it. The first thing we do when we get a vehicle is to check to see what type of tires they put on, because a lot of companies are using some junker brands made in weird countries we never heard of. But here we have Bridgestones. Okay, that's a pretty good Japanese brand. And most performance cars today don't come with a spare tire. They say it's to save weight. Even I know it's to save money. So let's look under here and see what we've got. And yes, by the way, this trunk space is actually not too bad for a rear-wheel drive car, but far more than we get in those sporty cars, the LC 500 and RCF, which has really no trunk space at all, so that's why we're getting the sedan, right? Yep, it's a donut, but better than walking. And as we do all our vehicles, we're taking these headlights out in the dark to see how they perform and doing some night driving. We already did that video on YouTube, didn't see it, we'll have the link coming up at the end of this video, you won't miss anything. If you drive at night, you gotta watch it. We already went over the engine specs earlier, so I'm not going to do it again, but we still got to show the V8, right? One of the nicest V8s on the market. Will last a long, long time if you take care of it. You better take care of it, because if you don't change oil and stuff and run it, it can be very, very expensive to replace. If you can't afford the V8 and get the V6, it offers pretty good performance too, but you know you really want this one, right? Alright, Eco Mode, Normal Mode, Custom, Sport, and Sport Plus. At the touch of a knob. And that will give you a little light show on the gauge cluster, which looks a lot more impressive at night, as you'll see in our night video when you go watch it, as I know you will. And as well as a digital clock, we get a real clock. Analog, I think it's called. And they actually run when the warranty runs out. It won't happen on an American or a German car, I guarantee you that. If you want to shift for yourself, paddles on the steering wheel where they belong, not on the steering column like the Italians do, which is a stupid place to put them. If they're at the fingertips, they can always be reached. Where you're going straight line or taking corners, whatever, always here. You always know where they're at. On the steering column, only good for straight line, not in corners, which makes them pretty much worthless. This is where they belong. Lexus got it right. End of story. Alright, for me, this is the most important thing on the planet. This is the finger touch pad for the info screen. I cannot stand these. Most journalists cannot stand these. Yeah, it's okay when you're sitting still. Try operating this when you're moving. It just sucks. The good news is Lexus did away with this on many of their other models starting in 2024. They didn't on this, but they came up with a very clever idea. Rather than going to all the expense of changing this and putting something else in its place, it costs a lot of money to do that. They left this here for those of you who like the finger touch pad, but you can override it by simply using your fingers on the screen. You couldn't do that before. Now everybody's happy. I'm happy because I can do this. And some people out there might be happy for doing this, although I can't imagine why. Nice to have both choices, though. If you want heated seats or air-conditioned seats, you have a simple button to push here. You don't have to go scroll through the info screen like on some other complex European models. And there's a lot of room in the glove box if you take out that super thick owner's book that you'll never read and stick it in the trunk with the small spare tire. And to keep the thieves out, you can lock this. So when they break into your car over in California, like they do every day, it'll be harder for them to get in. The auto-dimming mirror can be turned off with a switch here. We cover that in our night video that you need to watch. This is classified as a 5-passenger, but of course the government, like everything else, gets it wrong. This is really for 2 passengers in the back, 2 adults. I guess you could squeeze 3 monkeys back here. But this is a compact car, not a limousine. Alright, part 1 show and tell is over. Let's go out and do some driving. Lexus is not the first company that switched from hydraulic steering to electric steering, but they're the first company that ever got it right. And the only company that still gets it right. This feels hydraulic, has good feel feedback, no disadvantages whatsoever. A lot of the German car manufacturers need to pay attention to this, but they don't for some reason. This vehicle has a very comfortable ride, a nice suspension design, especially when taking speed bumps like this. A nice city commuter. In the normal mode, the exhaust sound is reasonably quiet. Sport Plus, just a wee bit louder. They'll hear you coming. So will the traffic police. Good idea not to be using that in city traffic. So what's the whole point of getting a V8? That V8 roar. Yeah, baby. That's the sound I want to hear. This might be a Japanese-made V8. To me, a V8 is still American in one way or another. Woo! Of course, you have to put it in sport mode if you want to hear the exhaust the right way. I think Sport Plus is even louder, but we'll try that later. I have nothing against the smaller 6-cylinder and 4-cylinder turbo engines you get in the imported cars, especially the German ones, but then again, every time I get behind the wheel of a V8, a performance V8 engine, I kind of forget the others exist. One of the things I liked about the Lexus sports cars that have this V8, the LC500 and RCF coupes, they're excellent handling, but this one's doing pretty darn good. Very good balance. And the power steering is just the way you want it. Nice brakes too. Yeah. This is the way this car was meant to be driven. Backcountry roads, tight corners. We got some deer and bears out here. I'm not worried about hitting them, I'm worried about hitting a skunk, actually. Good thing I've got good brakes. If you're going to drive like this, make sure you have your brights on regarding your headlights, because the low beams don't go out very far. But we covered that in our headlight test and night drive video. So go see that if you want more information. Get the brights back on so we can see what we're doing here. There we go. Yeah, let's hit a deer. That's why I keep my headlights on bright. Into the line, I gotta do some visiting, and we'll go back to town and wrap up this video. Yeah, baby. Nothing beats a V8. Worth every penny. Let's reset the MPG gauge and take a highway trip. There's one complaint I have against this car and Lexus vehicles in general, and that's the plastic cover on the gauges that reflects the sun at certain times of the day at certain angles, and well, there you go. Can you read this? I can't. You'd think they'd fix this someday, but apparently not. What I find interesting is their test facilities in Arizona, where the sun shines like 95% of the time. You think somebody would have noticed this, but again, guess not. Just have to live with it. I'm told polarized sunglasses do away with this, but I don't have any at the moment. Not a deal killer, just kind of annoying. Trip's over. Let's take a peek at the numbers. All the minimum speed we were doing was 75 miles per hour. If I was doing any quicker, I would admit it. 28.9, I'm sorry. And the rating was 25, so I think there's nothing to complain about here. So let's cut to the chase. Is this Lexus IS 500 V8 worth the 66 grand price tag? Yes, it is. Go get a Mercedes or BMW Audi with a V8 and see how much they cost. Won't get one any cheaper. Even a fully loaded Mustang GT now runs around 65 grand. You're only getting 25 more horsepower. Plus, Lexuses are reliable. Will be lasting a lot longer than the other vehicles I just mentioned when the warranty runs out, trust me. Also, this is limited production. You won't see yourself coming and going. So if you've got the money, buy it. You'll love it. In the meantime, here's the headlight test and night drive video we did. Coming up. Click on the link and watch.